So everyone, we have learnt about the 7 limbs of yoga so far, which were Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, Pratyahara, Dharana and Dhyana, right?
Yeah. Ma'am, we've understood these 7 limbs, but what about the 8th limb of yoga?
Very good. That's what we have to yet talk about. So the 8th limb is Samadhi, and this is the most important limb of yoga and the last one in fact. What happens in this stage is something very, very interesting. Do you all remember in the introduction I had told you that the word yoga comes from the root yuja, which means union?
Yes.
The union between the individual self and the cosmic self. So Samadhi is a stage where this union actually takes place between the cosmic self and the individual self. So Samadhi is actually very much like liberation only. But to understand Samadhi properly, we will have to go into the details of the nuances of different stages which come in the Samadhi itself. So for that, you all will have to wait for the next session. But in the meanwhile, let me ask you all, do you have any questions related to the topics that we have discussed so far?
But ma'am, what if Samadhi is not my ultimate goal? Is yoga still a path for me?
That's a wonderful question, Mehak. I am very sure that none of you here right now at this juncture of your life is thinking about Samadhi. But I am very sure also of one more thing, and that is every one of you wants to lead a good life. Am I correct?
Yes.
What exactly is a good life then?
Well-being?
Financial stability,
Correct?
comfortable,
Being comfortable,
mental well-being.
mental well-being, absolutely right. And do you realize in the Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam and Pratyahara, and in fact even in Dharana and Dhyana, we actually have been talking about similar things. For example, Yama Niyama are the ethical backbone of yoga. They talk about how exactly to lead life, what are the things that we must do, what are the things that we must avoid, and by that how to build a character. Because that is an essential element of leading a good life. Secondly, asana, pranayam, they talk about the physiological aspect of a person. Physiological well-being, I'm sure you all understand it after the pandemic that how important it is, right? So it takes care of the physical well-being. Pratyahara talks about how sensual restraint is very important. How, as you all said, how watching constantly or constantly being on social media is problematic because it constantly keeps one's mind occupied. So it is essential to withdraw your senses also sometimes to focus on the thing at hand. So far as dharana and dhyana is considered, they actually are very useful so far as your cognitive skills are concerned. Imagine when your mind is cluttered, are you able to concentrate?
No.
Can you study well?
No.
Right? So for studying well, to get good marks, to get good job, don't you think dharana and dhyana are essential elements?
Yes.
You need to know how to concentrate, how exactly to get into that concentrated mode so that you can do your job better. So as you see here, Mehak, all these aspects actually are holistic. So therefore yoga is called as a holistic school. It actually takes care of not just the physical well-being, not just the psychological well-being, but also emotional and spiritual well-being. Now let's consider that you are not interested in the spiritual well-being at this stage. But still, the other 3 levels are equally important for all of us to be a better person and to lead a good life. So, to answer your question simply, is the path of yoga available for everyone? Yes, it surely is a path available to everyone and everyone can get some or the other benefit from it. Okay, so I hope you all have understood all of these concepts and we will meet in the next session to discuss more in detail about Samadhi.